And this is the monkey wrench in people's lives they don't recognize. And I go, what's that? And I said, well, consciousness is wishes and desires, and we should be able to manifest them. As a matter of fact, important fact of science is that consciousness is creating our life experiences. This was recognized in 1927, the day quantum physics was recognized. It was also put into the fact. Matter of fact, one of the co-founders of quantum physics, Max Planck, a phrase that is relative today in this regard, the phrase is, the mind is the matrix of all matter. The mind is the matrix of all matter means the mind is the creator of all matter. Well, the movie The Matrix comes into play here. And I go, why? Because that's what it was based on, the mind controlling this. And the movie The Matrix, a lot of people say, oh, that's science fiction. I go, it's actually a documentary. And I go, the reason why is because what's the premise of the movie? Oh, everybody's programmed. I go, yes, that's true. Everyone is programmed. As I said, the brain is a computer, and you need the programs to get off the ground. And how did you get your programs? Well, in the first 7 years of your life, your brain is not functioning at the higher vibration called consciousness. I said, vibration, consciousness. I said, yeah, you read a brain's function by putting wires on their head. It's called electroencephalograph. I can read your brain function. And I go, well, there are different levels of vibration. And the low vibration delta, you're sleeping. And the highest vibration beta is where we are right now, thinking and communicating and doing a high consciousness stuff. And I go, in the first 7 years of a child's life, the vibration is not at the level of consciousness. It's actually at a lower vibration called theta. I go, so what's theta? I go, theta is characterized as imagination. So in the first 7 years, that's where kids mix the real world and the imaginary world, because imagination is a function of theta. So, a kid gets on a broom and says it's a horse and rides the broom around. And the mother asks for the broom. You know what? The child's like, huh? Why? Because in the child's mind, in theta, that's not a broom. It's a real horse. And so theta is like bringing imagination into the real world. There's a tea party thing, you pour nothing into the cup and they drink the imaginary tea, and then they say, that was the greatest tea I ever had in my life. Again, this is an example of imagination. The most important point, theta is also hypnosis. I go, oh, why? Well, an infant has to learn how to be a member of a family, and an infant has to learn all the rules to be a member of a community. And I go, well, that's a lot of learning. That's a lot. How many rules does it take to be a functional member of a family and community? Thousands of rules. An infant can't read. An infant can't go to school. But an infant sure as heck's got to learn the rules right away to be a member of a family and a community. So nature facilitated. And I go, why what? Well, you learn the rules in the first 7 years of your life because you're in theta, which is hypnosis. And I say, so what? And I say, watch your father, watch your mother, watch your siblings, watch your community. And I say, why? When you're watching them, you see how they work. And I go, then what? And I say, well, now you have a program of how to make things work. Watch how your father does it. Watch how your mother does it, And I go, oh, I downloaded in hypnosis behavior, but from other people. But these behaviors are fundamental to get me off the ground, because if I don't put them into the program, I can't use my brain. So the brain lights up, screens on in the last trimester of pregnancy, in the last 3 months before you're born, and the screen's on. And I go, then what? I say, then at that point, we start responding to the environment and downloading information about the environment, which adjusts our genetics. Our genes don't control us. We control our genetics, but we have programs to control the genetics. So where'd you get them? How you learn to live your life controls your genetic activity, okay? So first 7 years of your life, program the system. After age 7, the brain frequencies ramp up, and now we're conscious and creative. That's conscious mind. And I go, that's really cool. And I say, the conscious mind wishes and desires. Whatever it is you want in your life, if I say, tell me what you want, the answer is going to come from your conscious mind because it's creative. It says, I want great relationships. I want to be healthy. I want a great job, blah, 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 blah. I say, oh, those are wishes and desires. I go, yeah, that's conscious mind. And then I say, just to give you a visual, imagine the body as a vehicle, like a car with a steering wheel. And I go, so what? And I say, the conscious mind, the creative mind, when it has its hands on the wheel, drives your vehicle toward wishes and desires. That's the destination. I go, cool. Then I add the problem. Problem, yes, and here it is. The conscious mind can look out the so-called window of your vehicle and drive you to where you want to go. Or, and here it is, the conscious mind can think. What does that mean? I say, when you're looking out the window, you're looking at the world. But if you're thinking, you redirect your conscious mind to look inside because the answers are inside. So I go, so what does that mean? I say, well, let's say today's Wednesday, and I say, what are you doing on Friday? And it's not written in front of you, but give yourself a little bit of time right there, and you'll say, oh, on Friday, I'm going to do this. I said, where'd you get that information? I thought about it. I said, aha, you ready? When you started thinking, you stopped looking out at the world with your conscious mind. You started looking in to the brain, to the thought. Well, that means, well, wait, the conscious mind's driving the vehicle to wishes and desires. And then I say, I start thinking, guess what? Conscious mind is not looking out the window. Conscious mind just went inside. This is really true. I mean, even if you're really driving a car, you're driving your car and your conscious mind, I'm looking at the road and I'm going where I'm going. And then you start thinking about something, guess what? You're not looking at the road anymore. The conscious mind is not looking at the road. The conscious mind is in thought. I say, well, oh my God, there's a dangerous situation. You're on the interstate. You're driving like crazy. You start thinking, you're not looking out the window. I go, oh, and I go, no, don't worry. You know why? Because this is when the subconscious mind steps in and becomes like the autopilot. Why? Habit. Driving is a habit. You know how to drive? You don't have to learn it every day. The thing knows exactly how to drive. The body, the mind, the subconscious will drive you. When you could be thinking, and a lot of times this happens, you probably had this experience. You're driving along, and then you start thinking about stuff. And then at some point you look out the window and you realize, I haven't paid attention for the last 5 minutes. I almost missed my exit. I'm not even paying attention. I go, who was driving the car? Because all of a sudden you realize you weren't paying attention. Or you have someone in the car, just to give a simple example, and you get so involved in a conversation, blah, 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 blah. And then you look out the window and realize, I haven't paid attention to the road. And I always joke, I say, yeah, tell your passenger, they'll feel really secure. Yeah, when we were talking, I haven't paid attention to the road for 5 minutes, and basically, you're still there. But now comes 2 questions. Ready? Question number 1, what was your conversation about? You go, oh yeah, we talked about this and this and this. Like, question number 2, what was on the road when you had the conversation? And the answer is, I go, but you're still on the road, you're still driving, you're still safe. And I go, that wasn't you driving, that was your subconscious mind. Your program was driving you. And you had no vision of that whole process. You don't even know what the hell was on the road. You have no idea what was on the road. I go, why is this important? And here it goes. This is the personal, let's get to a point. And the point is simply this. Your conscious mind can think. I go, yes. I said, how much of the time does it think? And this is where the problem comes in. Only 5% of the day or your life are you actually using the creative conscious mind to manifest your life. And that's the one that had the wishes and desires in it. You're not using that mind. You're using the subconscious mind. I said, yeah, but those programs didn't come from you. They came from your parents, your family, your community. It's not even your program. Do they have your wishes? Probably not even they don't have those. So I said, well, wait, you're looking for wishes and desires, but what's driving you is a program that doesn't even have your wishes and desires. I go, yep.